The station wagon was once a vital component of American family life because it offered the perfect harmony of comfort, style, and functionality. For many years, because it could easily handle road trips, grocery shopping, and school pickups, it was the perfect car for the middle class. The wagon was discreetly removed from the public eye while Beetles, SUVs, and Mini Coopers were aggressively advertised. This was not just about changing consumer preferences. It was also about corporate planning, marketing influence, and regulatory gaps. At its peak, it was common in practically every driveway. In just a few decades, it went from being a household staple to nearly extinct, and its name and image vanished from memory. Its removal was not an accident. It was planned. Popularity peaked in the 1970s. In 1976, wagon sales reached a peak of 972,212, accounting for more than 10% of all automobile sales in the United States. With 62 different models, the range was unmatched even when compared to modern SUVs. The ease of long-distance travel made possible by affordable gas and expanding roads drove demand. Families valued their versatility, which allowed them to be formal, tough, or vacation-ready. They were as essential as household appliances and symbolized suburban comfort. The wagon had evolved from a mode of transportation to a symbol of the American identity. This car was unique in its ability to communicate wealth, independence, and family unity, cultural significance, and individual memories. Wagons aroused strong sentiments of nostalgia with their rear-facing third-row seats, children making faces at drivers, and long trips without seat belts. Summer vacations included roadside restaurants, AM/FM radios, and sibling arguments over snacks. They were moving homes, which could be anything from sports gear to picnic baskets. In suburban neighborhoods, weekend trips were typically possible when there was a driveway with a big, shiny wagon. Families were able to strengthen their bonds by packing them up for trips to the park, beach, or ball game. The wagon was a part of important life events and was more than just metal. Because of this emotional connection, its eventual disappearance felt like the loss of a family member. Historical background. The term station wagon comes from early vehicles used to carry people and their possessions to train stations. Originally, these depot hacks were either horse-drawn carriages or modified trucks. Henry Ford supplied the Model T chassis in 1910, and coach builders constructed custom wooden bodywork for it. The Ford Model A wagon popularized the term in 1929. In 1935, Chevrolet debuted the first wagon body composed entirely of steel. Wooden carriages were opulent, but because the wood could rot, warp, or fade, they were costly to maintain. Ford even had a wood plant, but steel was easier to make in large quantities, more durable, and more economical. Due to industry pressure, wooden wagons had become obsolete by the late 1940s. Suburban development and boom. The baby boom that followed World War II resulted in 76 million births between 1945 and 1964, and the 1956 Highway Act built 41,000 miles of interstate. Suburban areas that are expanding quickly require vehicles that can fit big families. Wagons are perfect because they are spacious, practical, and stylish. They made up 17% of automobile production by the end of the decade, compared to only 3% in the early 1950s. Their two-door or four-door designs, multiple seating configurations, and massive freight capacity made them incomparable. Added versatility came from roof racks and tailgates. They became as much a part of the suburban expansion as the actual homes, and they came to symbolize the wealth and mobility of the era, the golden age of the 1960s. When the Ford Falcon, Ford Country Squire, and Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser dominated the market in the 1960s, the station wagon reached its zenith. Massive V8 engines provided easy power to go along with the renowned forward paneling. Gas was cheap, and efficiency was not a problem. Wagons were not just promoted as means of transportation, but as symbols of lifestyle. They became the greatest choice for family vacations and cross-country travel. No other vehicle could match their combination of comfort, style, and utility by the end of the decade. The decline in sales and the oil crisis. Petrol prices increased by 300%, from $3 to $12 per barrel, as a result of the 1973 oil embargo. Fuel rationing led to long lines at stations and strict purchasing restrictions. With only 10 to 12 miles per gallon, wagons become costly to operate. Families thought they were wasteful, so sales declined. When automakers cut back on production in 1978, Chrysler discontinued its full-size wagon models. Power and size, which were once advantages, are now disadvantages. Competition between SUVs and minivans. The minivan era began in 1984 with Chrysler's Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager, which were spacious, affordable, and family-friendly. Their sliding doors and movable seats made them ideal. That same year, the Jeep Cherokee transformed the SUV market with its combination of toughness, style, and capability. SUVs were marketed as safe and adventurous, even for drivers who had never gone off-road. By the 1990s, these two divisions had largely replaced wagons. Regulatory gaps and profit motives. Though SUVs, which were classified as light trucks, were exempt, wagons were subject to strict efficiency objectives under CAFE fuel economy regulations, which treated them like cars. As a result, automakers are highly motivated to sell SUVs. They cost a little more to make than sedans, but they made an extra $5,000 to $10,000 for every sale. Manufacturers made significant marketing investments to persuade consumers that SUVs were more modern, safer, and more capable. The wagon never had a chance in this strange environment. Legacy and near extinction. By 2004, there were only 26 wagon models sold in the United States, primarily imported from Europe. By 2016, that number had dropped to 8. Ford discontinued the Taurus wagon in 2005 and the Focus wagon in 2008. There are still wagons today with names like Sport Tourer and Shooting Brake. They have been replaced by crossovers, but they usually lack the allure and cargo capacity of the classics. When the wagon disappeared, more than just a car was gone. It marked the end of a period of time spent making memories and taking road trips with the family.